Hey everybody, this is just a quick side note before the video actually begins. I am creating a Discord for you all to join and be a part of and get to chat and hang out with me and anybody else that's interested in the mod pack and such like that. And that way I can also notify everybody when there is either going to be a new episode coming out soon or what the status of the next one is going to be, because there's not really a great way I can communicate with all you guys out there that want to keep up and follow along, because the community tab is not available for me to post updates on. So I'm going to be creating a Discord, and I'm going to put the link in the bottom of this episode. And I just set it up, and I'm just kind of learning the ropes of fully setting up a full proper Discord server. So if there's any quirks at the beginning, like things aren't working right or you don't have access to the right channels, I will be working as best I can to make sure that it all works the first time. But if there are any problems, just give me a shout somewhere, whether that be on the video or on Discord if I'm on, and that way I can try and resolve those issues pronto. And secondly, before I begin this episode, I realized that because of some issues that I'll explain during the actual video itself, I didn't actually end up recording a important part of the video where I actually ended up going to the Nether and crafting these netherite seeds. Now, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. I ended up getting some ancient debris, smelted it all into netherite, and I ended up crafting some netherite seeds. Now, these netherite seeds, all they required was 4 ingots, which is pretty cheap, actually, once you kind of just do a bunch of strip mining down there. So I ended up getting these pretty quick. And once I had 1 seed, they just constantly grow more and more seeds. So I just have a little 3x3 of netherite seeds here. And that's why at the beginning of this episode, I am in full netherite gear instead of in diamond gear. So just a little heads up, that's the reason why that's happening. I realized that I forgot to record something about that. So I'm just going to throw this in here as a little side clip, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hey everybody, welcome back to All the Mods 8 here on the channel. It's been a bit of a while since I last uploaded. I really apologize about that because I've actually really missed getting back into the pack, and I've had a couple of things going on with holidays, and then I got sick, and then I had some computer issues, so I couldn't record, and it's just been one thing after another, it seems. So I'm happy to be back. I'm definitely planning on continuing in this pack because I love playing this pack, so I hope you guys are excited to keep seeing some of it. Unfortunately, I had started recording an episode, as you can kind of see as a bit of a hint behind me here. I had actually completely finished a video before it actually was corrupted, and I couldn't recover any of the footage to post online. And I was really bummed about that. So I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of a... I was about halfway through recording the episode. I was about 1.5 episodes in that I'm not going to be able to share, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of give a bit of an overview as to what I did and kind of go to the places that I did them, just so that we kind of get a bit of a catch up and we can continue in the pack as if we had missed nothing. So it's not the best situation, but I hope you guys understand. I really wish I could have found something that could have salvaged some of the footage, but unfortunately not a lot of it is savable. So I'm going to end up just doing a bit of a tour here. So first off, in between episodes, as you can see here, I have in fact set up a refined storage system. Now, I was going to make the entire episode that I unfortunately lost. The entire episode was essentially about me setting up refined storage and moving everything from over in the storage over there into here. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see that, so I'm instead going to take you over to the other base and show you what it looks like now, because it does look completely different. And as you can see, I've gotten rid of all this completely. Everything's been moved over, and all the storage is now inside of refined storage itself. Now, I'm going to do a quick overview of refined storage because I really was excited to explain this mod to you guys. I'm just going to spend a couple minutes explaining refined storage and what I've set up here. So what I did was essentially underneath here, there is a lapidary dynamo that's powering the entire refined storage system. Now, this lapidary dynamo is burning emeralds like we were before, and I'm just pumping them over using an ender chest from our mob farm. So that's what's kind of fueling this entire system, but other than that, it's very simple. Now, underneath here a little further is the import chest. Now this is what we're using to import all the items from our mystical agriculture setup into the refined storage system directly as well. So that's actually really handy because then I don't have to worry about bringing any items over. It automatically is just pumping right into refined storage. So the first thing I have set up here is the controller. Now the controller is essentially the heart of refined storage. You need one of these to set up your entire system, and it's what accepts the power to run all of your system here. All you require to make it is just some silicone, which I actually have silicone seeds set up in the mystical agriculture, a machine casing with some of this quartz enriched iron, which is really basic stuff, and then one advanced processor. And this stuff is also just pretty basic stuff with a processor binding here as well. So secondly, I have my what's called the crafting grid. Now this is kind of what makes refined storage super handy, is it lets you access all of the things that are inside of your system and craft with them right here in a super easy way. So for example, if I was going to take some redstone, I can just make it like a redstone block like that, and I can craft them right out of my inventory like so. So that's really convenient. This is also in tandem with this hooked up with a disk drive. Now, the disk drive is actually what is used to store the items. So you plop one of these down, and as long as it's touching one of the other refined storage pieces or cables, then it should be good to go. And all you have to do is put in one of these storage disks. Now, the storage disks are a little expensive. There's a bit of nested crafting in them to get some of the higher tier ones. But for now, I've just made a 64K storage disk. I could at some point upgrade this to a higher one. I believe that you can turn this into, 256, and then it also goes higher and higher. I think up to an infinite part, but that gets really, really expensive. So, but anyway, this is plenty for now. As you can see, we have 63% of our storage full, which is good for now. We're going to have to add some more soon, but other than that, that should be good to go. Now you can see the cable that goes all the way upstairs, and upstairs I have actually set up the storage drawers. Now I changed the design a little bit from what was over there, but essentially what I've done is I've hooked up all of these drawers to the storage controller. And the storage controller is now reading every single one of these drawers, and because what's underneath here, up inside here, I have a external storage. Now, an external storage essentially lets you hook up any chest, barrel, drawer, etc. to a refined storage system, and that will actually just let you use that as an extended storage that you can also read from your storage interface right here. But in this case, because this is the storage controller, it actually is reading every single one of those drawers, and I can get all of the drawer materials right here, easy to access, and it only requires one external storage on the drawer controller. So that's really, really convenient for a lot of bulk storage of items that we're going to get lots of. But yeah, that's essentially the entirety of our refined storage system so far. I mean, underneath here, I didn't really explain this too quickly. I did it a little quickly, but we have an ultra importer onto the main import chest. And that's because the ultra importer, now that comes from a different mod. If you look at importer, the actual refined storage importer is just this one here. And this one is the basic one. You can apply stack upgrades and speed upgrades to this one to make it go faster. But there's also a mod called cable tiers that's in the pack. And that essentially just adds much faster versions of the importers, exporters, and such to the pack so that you don't really have to put a lot of upgrades into them. And they do get kind of expensive eventually. Like, for example, you can make the creative importer, which requires 2 of the ultras, a bunch of netherite, and then also one of these withering processors, so it requires a nether star. So other than that, they're pretty simple, and that just lets you import and export things extremely quickly. So for now, all our needs are met with the ultra importer. We seem to be keeping up no problems at all. But if we ever had to upgrade this, I could upgrade to the creative importer, and that would essentially be instantaneous. So we would never really run out of... we would never really have a backup there. Now, one of my big plans with refined storage in this pack is to get super into auto crafting. Auto crafting is a big component of why refined storage is so amazing, especially because we have a lot of these extra higher end crafters that are in the pack as well. But the thing is, I'm not really ready to get into auto crafting quite yet. I have some other things I want to tackle first. So what I actually plan on doing is I'm actually going to turn this elevator here, and I'm going to create a basement for this building. And under this, I'm going to put the basement where we're going to have all of our auto crafting setups right underneath. So it's easy to hook up and easy to get to when we need to. But yeah, that was effectively the entirety of the episode. I was mainly doing a lot of the crafting for those things in the episodes, so you guys kind of get the quick overview of how that went down. Now, I did also, in the episode after that, I was about halfway through and I was getting into allthemodium. Now, since the update, there's been a bunch of updates since I played the pack last. But essentially, from what I remembered, we were looking for allthemodium ore, because allthemodium is kind of what we wanted to get into here to get started finding the other stuff. And as you can see, I have some of these checked off because I have in fact done this, but unfortunately the recording did not work out. So I'm going to show you guys now. So the first step of this was I had to craft a teleport pad to get to the mining dimension, and that's a great area to mine a bunch of allthemodium. Now, unfortunately, the teleport pad, as you can see here, costed allthemodium nuggets. So we had to first get some allthemodium nuggets in order to get the teleport pad. And that involved going to a deep dark biome. So what I actually did, and unfortunately I don't have any footage of it, and I would love to have, but I went and I found a deep dark biome. Now, a lot of you might be thinking that that included having an ancient city, but unfortunately I only found a couple of really small deep dark biomes, really just tiny patches of skulk and stuff. And so I just ended up just looking around those for a while, and eventually I did find 2 pieces of it. So I was able to come back and make just enough to make the teleport pad. What we do is we just kind of right-click the teleport pad, or shift right-click I should say, and we get brought into the mining dimension. Now this dimension is nice and flat, really easy for mining and such. And then I just did a small square all the way down here. And the difference about this mining dimension that I realized as I was going down is it actually has different layers. It has a nether layer and an end layer. Now, I'm not exactly sure what kind of stuff you can find. So I basically came down as far down as it did, and then I found a piece, and so I decided I was going to stay around this area. Now, I haven't done much mining since, but it's really easy to do this because I can just do like a small square and just mine like this as far as I want to go. And because this this dimension is completely safe, like I believe the light level in here stays above a certain amount, or it just doesn't allow general mob spawning. I didn't do much mining. I don't think I really have that much allthemodium at all. But what you can do is we can actually craft ourselves a allthemodium potion, which actually lets you see nearby allthemodium, which will effectively make hunting for it much, much easier in the future if we ever want to. So, but right now I think we are all set. I'm just going to head back to the overworld and we're going to see what kind of stuff we've done with it. So as you may have been able to tell in my hotbar, I actually have 2 allthemodium tools. I have 1 sword and a shovel. So the sword itself was pretty straightforward. I just needed to create allthemodium plates with some of the ingots and such. If we look here, our allthemodium count is 31. So I do want to hang on to a little bit of this because eventually I do want to be able to make this stuff just from using our mystical agriculture setup. And we can actually create these actually quite simply. So all we need is allthemodium blocks, which is 9 times 4, so 36. So a little more than we currently have. But when we get the essence from this, this only crafts into a nugget. So we're going to need probably quite a few of these to really get a good amount going. But it's going to be really easy to set up, I think, because all we need is this, and then it has to be planted under magical soil. So this isn't too bad, but we're going to have to get some more of this, I think. The last thing that I did really before things stopped is I went and found an end stronghold and I beat the dragon. I know that sounds like a lot, but it really was a pretty uneventful fight. If you've done the dragon fight before, or in the past. It's pretty simple. Even in vanilla, it's a pretty straightforward process. So even in modded, it was even easier. I just crafted myself a really good bow here, using some stuff that we have from mystical agriculture, and this bow just basically destroyed the dragon. And what I ended up doing is I just beat it a few times just so we can get ourselves a little bit of dragon's breath, a few of these eggs, because I know the eggs are used for various things in crafts. I know they're used for, yeah, apotheosis spawner changes and some stuff like that. So I just thought I'd stock up on a couple. Same with the dragons. The dragon egg crux is we needed, and also we need it for the dragon soul, which is the end game thing we need for the allthemod star. I know a lot of you guys liked watching the dragon fight, so I'm sorry I didn't get any of that footage for you, but hopefully there aren't any more issues going forward. And in the end strongholds, I got all of this, like all of this came from the end stronghold. It was one of these big modded strongholds, not the vanilla ones, so there was just so much just random loot around everywhere. So some of this is good, some of this is completely useless, but I just kind of grabbed everything I could while I was there. So I'm just trying to get myself kind of re-familiar with where I was, because to be honest, I was a little confused at first as to what I had just finished, before I couldn't get any more episodes out. So I'm trying to kind of get myself reorganized and such, just to get my bearings a little bit. And I remembered that I actually had crafted the Charm of Allthemodium site. And that's actually a really great recipe. All I had to do was basically brew up one of these calcinated allthemodium powders, which just takes one ingot, which is one of the ones that I found. And you can actually then use this thing and toggle it on and off like a charm, like so. And I'm going to keep it off for now because it does have a time limit before it breaks. There used to be a way you could make this unbreakable, but I don't know if you can anymore. But anyway, this is actually a really great way to get ourselves the allthemodium we're going to need to get ourselves some allthemodium seeds from mystical agriculture, like this. So we're going to need a little bit more of this to get ourselves into it. The insanium really isn't a problem. The problem is just the allthemodium blocks. So that will help out tremendously with that. And I might end up going to the mining dimension actually right now and seeing if we can try this thing out, because I forget how this works, or if that actually works in the mining dimension at all. Yes, but I do remember this spaghetti mess down here that is my auto crafting setups. I'm gonna have to fix this at some point, but this is still getting all of our essence here and all the crafting is going on, so that's good at least. Now, I was seeing there was a comment in one of the videos, the last videos, about that their seed reprocessor wasn't working. So I just thought I would give a little quick, just a showing this off again, just to make sure that people are kind of understand how this thing works. What I'm having here is I'm actually taking the raw seeds that I don't want out of the chest that they're coming in from. So I'm taking them out with the pipes mod. So I'm extracting from here, and I'm just putting them into the seed reprocessor. There isn't really a side, I think, that they accept it from exclusively. So I just have it coming on the top here, and then anything that gets finished, any essence that comes out of this thing, it just gets puts right back into here. And because I'm only whitelisting seeds, once it's in here, then it just gets dragged out of the other ends here into the crafter. So I hope that kind of maybe resolves any problems people might be having with these. These are also quite power hungry, I believe. So make sure you have a good power setup before you upgrade to the higher tier reprocessors, because then you might run into some issues. But I'm just going to quickly recharge our backpack or our jetpack, and then we'll be good to go. So here we are back at the mining dimension, and I'm going to actually keep this. This does go in your charm slot, but I think I also want to keep this on my hotbar for now. I can turn it off and on easy enough. But as you can see, it's nighttime here, and there are no mobs spawning. So I'm pretty sure that this dimension is still completely mob safe. So it's really nice just to come here and be able to mine. So let's drop down here to where we had our mining set up here. Let's see if we can make this thing work. So I'm just going to pick a direction this way. Let's do small square just to make it nice and clean. Oops. And then we will take the allthemodium charm and turn it on. So there we go. That's a perfect example of what we're looking for. So that actually is outlining where some allthemodium is. And there's even some down here too. Excellent. So, oh, look at it all. Wow. So what we're going to do is, I don't want to keep this thing on all the time because this is a very kind of a really not expensive, but it's really great to have. So I'll turn it on until we find out where we need to go. And then what we're going to do is just dig nice and straight towards it. And there we go. It's just that simple. So let's just do shapeless. We'll mine this up. And we get some raw allthemodium. Now I have fortune 5 on this pick, so I got 11 out of just the 2 that we got there. So this is going to be pretty easy to get what we need. And then I can further crush this down and then smelt. So I can even double this further. So just out of 2 allthemodium ore, I can effectively get 22 allthemodium ingots, which is actually absurd. So I don't think we have to do this for very long, considering how much we get from this. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this one over here, and I think that might be okay. And there's 3 in this one, so let's see how many we get from 3. 22. So that was, we had 11 before, so actually we had not as good of a roll on that time, but that's okay. We have plenty here, so I mean, while I'm here, I might as well get a little more, so there we go, and that's the last one. And I think that was everything down here. I don't think I missed any veins. No, I think we're good. So there are a whole bunch of other veins around here too, but I think for the meanwhile, that's going to be plenty. 44 allthemodium ore, and so we can double that, and that's the number of ingots. So already we have more than enough to make ourselves the seed. And let's dump all this stuff in here, and all of this as well. Should be good on our storage still. Yeah, we should be fine. So here we are, allthemodium ore. So now let's take our hammer, and we can basically, there we go. We've effectively doubled our allthemodium. The factory upgrades on these furnaces is so nice. It's just, before they added this, it used to kind of be stuck with going mechanism for anything that involved multi-slot smelting, because they just didn't have that feature. But in one of the updates of this mod, they added this factory upgrade, and that's just amazing. So I'm not sure if in the mining dimension, I'm not sure if we're able to use the nether and end areas to find these types of ores. I don't really have a way to get the site, like the site for it, so I'm not sure. Oh, here we are. The next step in our adventure to become nearly invincible. So this is our quest to get Vibranium. Find this rare ore in the Nether's warped forests and crimson forests between Y100 to 123, so it's pretty high up. The best place to find this ore is in any biome in the Other, between 0 and Y20. So that is going to be our next step, is getting ourselves an allthemodium pickaxe so that we can go find some Vibranium. The reason that you have to is because the Vibranium is only mineable using the tier of the previous tier's pickaxe. So in order to mine the Vibranium, you have to have a allthemodium pickaxe. Let's go ahead and do that, because I think we should have plenty of allthemodium here. Apart from needing it for the seeds, we should have plenty to make ourselves one here. So allthemodium pickaxe. All we gotta do is this and this. And there we go. We have an allthemodium pickaxe. And that'll give us a little bit more allthemodium ore and a random reward, which is a wither skeleton skull. Nice. Okay. So yeah, there we go. We have ourselves a little more ore, which we can dump back in for now. And this allthemodium pickaxe, it's not as great because it doesn't have the high level of fortune that we have, but we are going to need this to mine the next tiers up. So I'm going to go and see if we can get ourselves a little bit of enchanting done on this thing. I have 69 levels, so that should be plenty. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a great way to get ourselves higher levels of fortune, so I think we're just going to get ourselves this for now. There are ways we can get fortune and other enchantments better down the road, but I think for now that's going to be all we're going to get out of this. I just needed something that was going to maybe give a little bit of extra ore, maybe not a lot, but a little bit, so... Anyway, now we have to take this, and we have to, as it says, go to either the Other to get Vibranium or into the normal Nether. And they say the best place is to go to the Other. Now, the Other is a little bit of a scary place. I do have some decent armor on, though, so I'm not super worried. But in order to get to the Other, I'm pretty sure we have to use a teleport pad in the nether. Yeah, to go to the other, do the same thing, but in the nether. Now, as soon as we put this down, I don't think it's going to do anything, but we have to do the same. We have to shift right click to go to the other. So let's go ahead and do that now. Oh, there we go. I do not know where I am. Oh, it spawned me like right into the, and we're super high. Oh no, we're Y64 right now. This is a very strange location. Okay, so this is kind of an odd spawn. It put me like inside of a block. I wasn't suffocating though, so that's good. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig down to, I guess it says between, what was the quest saying that we have to do? You'll find a ton of ore in the other. It's filled to the rim with amazing ores generation as well as ancient forests. Within these forests, you can find ancient berries that grant night vision. Oh, cool. This is also the only dimension that has soul lava and pig liches. And the pig liches, I think, are what we need for some of the end game all the mod stars. So we'll keep that in mind for later. So these should give us night vision then, which is kind of cool. I don't think I have any sort of night vision on these or anything, so that'll be kind of interesting. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to dig down a mining tunnel, because we want to go down to Y level 0 and 20. So we want to kind of go as low as possible here. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I'll maybe just do a little bit of shapeless mining here, and I'll come back when we find some. Oh, we found our first piece of vibranium. There we are. Nice. Okay. I've done quite a bit of strip mining and digging around, so that's good that we found some. So, okay, let's just make sure we have a little bit of room in our inventory here. We don't want to make sure we lose it, so we're gonna run out of night vision soon. But okay, let's do some shapeless mining, and we'll grab it. Let's see what we get. Wow, we only got one piece, but that actually should be enough because we can go home, craft it, and then make some potions with it. So let's go do that right now. Okay, so we're down here in the area that I just cleared out, so we have a lot of stuff in here. Let's pop this charm and see what we can find ourselves. There's one up there, there's one up there, so they do appear to be quite rare. A tunnel just to go up. There we go. So that's great. So let's get ourselves a little bit more of this. So, oh, okay, so this actually needs to be, yeah, this needs to be mined with this thing. Right, I keep forgetting that. All right, we got 3 from that. Nice. Okay. Let's see if we can get a little more. There we go. And like so. Ow. I got swarmed by some mobs down there, and my chest plate broke. I didn't realize it was that close to breaking. That's not good. Well, I guess we're gonna have to solve the armor problem soon. I guess I can make myself one of the allthemodium armor sets for now. I have some chest plates in here. Like this one here, it ignores... So this one has 13.25 armor. So I think this is actually... It doesn't have the same amount of armor toughness as this one. Or knockback resistance. But it also gives you extra health. So I'm thinking if I can just take this, I make this into a netherite one. I can. And that will actually improve the armor toughness and such. So let's do that. I would keep that, but unbreaking 3, protection 3. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm actually bummed that I don't have a waystone here. Now, I do feel like I have a waystone. So let's put this down and call this home. Okay, there we go. So we do actually have the end island waystone set up. For some reason, I just can't find the one I have here, unless I just didn't put one here. But now we can come from here to the end island as we want, nice and free. So let's go do that right now. I'll just hop on over here. Problem I had with this dimension was that it was getting a lot of those apotheosis bosses spawning. So unfortunately, we probably are going to have that happen a lot. But anyway, this is the main end island, and that is where we need to go to get to the outer lands where we can get ourselves some unobtainium. Now, unobtainium, I think we just mine it with the same thing here, but it is extremely rare. Okay, so we got everything we need here. I think we have the waystone to bring with us. We have the ender pearls to get into the portal. So let's go find ourselves some unobtainium. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure Now, one thing we're going to actually make use of is the Nature's Compass, because this will let us actually search for End Highlands. There we go. So then now we know we're about 300 blocks away from the nearest End Highland biome. So that's good to know. So there's some really cool trees through here. So these are going to be really cool to maybe make use of if we want to at some point. Build with any of these, but yeah, let's keep going this way here. I think this is the biome we're looking for here, the End Highlands. And I'm not sure what all the Endermen are. Oh, there's an Endermite boss. What? Anyway, let's move on from that. So what we're looking for is not the... This is actually kind of deceptive, this Azure Silver Ore. Oh my... What is going on? What is this? Like an Enderman fountain. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, we're in the End Highlands biome. So this is where we want to be. Now the problem is trying to find this stuff is not easy. So I think what we're gonna... The best thing to do, I think, is just we're gonna take our pick. We're going to do a... I think we're just going to do shapeless because this does just not take any durability. So there's not really a reason we can't just do this all the way down. And hopefully we stumble across some at some point. We're going to probably have to do this multiple times before we find some. But here we go. Finally, I found some. I've dug up so much endstone. I've just been shapeless mining everywhere in the Highlands, and I finally got some. Okay. All right. So this is mineable. This is mineable using the allthemodium pick, so this is different than normal. So you don't have to worry about getting a Vibranium tool because they don't have them in this pack, I don't think. So it looks like we found 4 here, so I'm really hoping we get maybe 8, 6. That's not bad. Okay. And again, this is just gonna have to be enough to... What do we get there? A niotic thermogenerator. That is actually kind of cool. That's a really good find. Anyway, I got one extra one of these, so I can use the fortune on it here. Oh, there we go. We got 9. Okay, so we're at 18 total. I don't want to mine here anymore until I get a charm. And finally, we get some unobtainium site charm. Nice. Okay, so let's go back to the end now. I'm hoping to get enough to get at least 1 seed. Now, the thing about the seeds with Mystical is they were required to be planted on magical soil, I believe, which is why I needed to kill the dragon multiple times. This is why I remembered why I did that, actually, is we needed a bunch of these dragon scales. So because I've done a few kills of the dragon, I have 32, which means I can make 8 of these. So I'm thinking 4... I mean, right now we can do... maybe 4 unobtainium and then 2 of the other ones is how I'm thinking we're going to go at the beginning until we get some more. But for now, this will be the way it's going to be. Okay, so we are in the End Highlands. Let's put this thing on. And, oh, there we go, right away. There's some right here, which is very convenient. We will grab it very happily. Nice, and it's 10. Okay, so... I need to make 4. I only need to make 1 seed, so that just means I need 20, 37. So I actually do have enough right here, I think, 4 set blocks of unobtainium. I'll see if there's a little bit more anywhere around while I'm here. There's one here too, so we'll grab it. There's no harm in it. No harm in getting a little extra while we're here. It's crazy how it could take you so long to find it without the charm, and then with the charm, it's just X-ray mod is very strong. And there's a pack right here, so I think we'll call that a good. I think we're gonna head it back with what we have. We have 29. That's plenty in my eyes, I think. So I think we're gonna leave this here and head home. And now what I want to do is I want to make a little bit of this stuff, and hopefully, I don't know if I have room in my current setup. There's a little bit of space up here. Let me... 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we have enough for, I think, 8, I said. So we can turn 8 of these into that. And I'm thinking we just take 1 row each for each type. I think that might probably be enough. We might end up giving it more, but over time it'll probably give plenty. And now to make the seeds, we just need to combine them with a prosperity base. We're going to make 3 seeds total. And then we're also going to need insanium, which we have lots of. We need 12 total. There we go. And now to make this magical soil, we need also more insanium blocks. So all we have to do is put one of the prosperities in. Let's start with the allthemodium seeds. 4 of those and 4 of these. And we have no particles on, but there we are. Our first allthemodium seeds. Nice. And we'll get the Vibranium seeds. 1, 2, 3, 4, which will give us the Unobtainium seeds. Great. We have all 3, which is fantastic. Okay, so now we have these. And here is our last magical soil. Boom. Okay, sounds good. So we are all set. Now all we have to do is go into, I believe it was this one. It had some space. Okay, well let's, if we put this here, is this thing gonna grow? Oh, it is growing. Okay. It is growing. It might be a little slower, but that's okay. Okay, that's not bad then. Okay, well, let's put that in. So let's go 4 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And then that will let us plant 1. Like so. And it's growing. Nice. And Vibranium. And Unobtainium. Okay, so I finished hooking up the system. I think everything should be working as intended. It's coming in quite slow, to be fair, but I only really have the 1 seed of each so far. And I don't think they're particularly fast, so I'm just kind of keeping an eye on making sure they are in fact providing essence. And it looks like they are working. I just need to get some more in here to make them fully working faster. But so while we're waiting for some of that stuff to get us some more seeds and replanting them, I think we have a couple of quests in the quest book we can actually finish up pretty easy. Now, I had held off doing this one because at that point I didn't have many ender pearls, but because now we're pretty set on resources, I think we shouldn't have any problems crafting this item here. So let's grab this. And that is the end of the getting started chapter. Funny that we're just getting started now, but better late than never, I guess. Okay, so in terms of the allthemodium, there isn't a whole lot else I want to do at this moment. The tips and tricks. Let's see, the compact machined. Now that one should be pretty easy, which is super cheap. This is a very, very cheap recipe. But that makes us able to complete these pretty easy. And that gives us an unbreaking book, which is kind of cool. And what else can we do? This is just a quest completing a structure compass. Okay, so that's a little expensive, but because now that we have that coming in, we have allthemodium coming in now, so this shouldn't be too big of an issue to craft. I will grab one of these. There we go. And we got ourselves a block of iron. Cool. Awesome. We can make a hammock. No problem. Let's grab this. All these free rewards. Now, the time in the bottle. This is the one that I'm very excited for. This will essentially let us to speed up a lot of processes that we might have to wait for. I'm just going to pin this one because this one's a little expensive. This... Now, in terms of honeycomb, I don't have any bees at all. And I have no honeycomb. So yeah, that's going to be something we have to get in order to complete this. This is a little expensive. This is in the productive bees mod. These ones are easy enough. This is all just easy mystical that we have, and we have Unobtainium now. So that's going to be one that we're going to look to do soon. If there's anything else we can just finish up quick, though, while we're here, that would be great. Tool belt. Kind of like, just check off some things on the list. Okay. The bounty board, as we're going... The getting started part 2. Now, this is something we might be able to start working into as well. We have a lot of stuff done. Some of the stuff like this mechanism section here kind of gates all the other research that we've already completed. Angel ring. This is pretty cheap because we have... Do we have nether stars? No, we don't have nether stars, but we can make them because we have plenty of wither skeleton skulls and such, and soul sand. Not a lot of that, but we can get it. So that's not too bad. These blocks are expensive. The diamond ring, oh. It's not terrible, except for we don't have an elytra, but we can go get one. So yeah, the creative flight thing, that actually is that's pretty obtainable. So we're gonna maybe look towards doing that soon. Sooner than later. Lots of things I want to do, but kill the warden, that's something we don't really want to do right now, so it's cool. But yeah, there's lots of different ways we can get into this. But again, the ultimate goal of the pack is to hopefully at some point get the ATM star, which involves you diving into a lot of different mods. So yeah, there's plenty of these items are quite expensive to craft and require getting into a bunch of different mods. So kind of what we're doing right now is just kind of setting up we're getting ourselves so that we have the resources to do all the stuff. And then once we have them, it'll make getting into the mods and kind of learning stuff much easier at that point. So that's kind of my plan right now. And we're basically there. We essentially have every resource automated that we're going to need through Mystical, except some of the, we're still working on getting Unobtainium and all that, because it's pretty slow. Like, we've only gotten a few nuggets since we being here, so allthemodium, this is giving us a little bit, and so yeah, it's just going to be slow at first, but it'll speed up as we go. So I was looking, and I've been kind of here sitting, working and waiting for some new seeds to come through, and unfortunately I checked into it a little bit more, and in the config files, it's actually listed that anything that grows on magical soil cannot reproduce seeds. So that means that every time you want to add a new allthemodium, unobtainium, or vibranium seed to your batch of growing, you have to craft the seed yourself, which means 36 ingots worth of each material and also 4 blocks of insanium extra. So that makes that very, very expensive. And I think in the past, those seeds used to drop their respective seeds as well, which made it easy to set up large farms for it. But in this case, it is not that way. So it's going to be very expensive going forward to craft that stuff. But I think realistically, I don't know how much we're going to need and how fast we're going to need it. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a long time since I posted a video, and I appreciate you all for sticking with me through the ups and downs of, things going wrong and delays and such. So, but I'm very happy to be back playing the pack, and I'm excited to keep going in it as well. So I hope you guys are too. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I hope you all have a good one. Bye.